All right, we should be live. Just getting my restream. Good morning, everybody. Bear with me a second as I get everything set up. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Jedi Academy. I'll get to the whole spiel here in a second. I am getting all the different chats set up. I have to wait till live. Then I can pop everything in and roll. Yes. All right. I think we're good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Jedi Academy here on Reality Scoot Gamers with your host, Ranger J 1999. Welcome you guys into another Saturday edition of the stream. Got two streams for you today. We got this one, and then we've got we're gonna do some D&D tonight. So and so feel free to watch. It'll be on this channel as well. We're gonna set something up here and do some D&D here. So it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be creating characters tonight. So if you've never seen the process of what it's like to create characters, we're going to be doing that tonight. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So good morning, everybody. And yeah, so welcome to the Jedi Academy. This is a straight Q&A show for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. And the way it works, if you have a question, all you got to do is get your questions into the chat, whether you're live on YouTube or Twitch. And we go in the order that we get them, give you the best answer we can, all that good stuff. Yeah, and now there's a format for this. So if you have a question you want to post to myself or anybody that joins me on the Zoom call, we open it up to any content creator that's available that wants to come join us on a Saturday morning. Here in the US, then they'll pop in. So whoever's here, you're more than welcome to hit them up along with any questions for me. But just follow the following format. Put the word question for your actual question, comment, or statement, and that will help us identify your questions easier. Especially if we have a lot of people. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed. So it just helps me to identify those questions and statements you want us to respond to. We'll give you the best answer we can. On top of that, interact, hit the thumbs up, subscribe over on YouTube, Twitch, same thing, follow all that stuff. And then, yeah, give your greetings too. That's the big thing. We're a very interactive stream here. So if you have anything, the least you can do is just say hi. If you don't have any questions, we'll talk about SWGOH as best we can. And so, yeah. And if I happen to miss a question or something, just feel free to repost. Say, hey, I put this earlier. You missed it. Hey, it happens, right? Just keep me honest, all that stuff, and just be nice about it. That's all I gotta do. But yeah, give your greetings, say hi to me, say hi to all the other skewers. We'll shout you out here, say thank you for being here. You can be watching anything else, but you're here for episode 341 of the Jedi Academy. Very nice. What Pliskin over on YouTube says good morning, a bit early for Fernette, isn't it? Kidding. No, it's, you know, I do morning shoeies. I'm a machine. Yeah, we did a lot of drinking last night. If you have not joined us for the Friday streams, they're so much fun. They're so much fun. And we had a blast last night. Giving Karth an aneurysm as always, as we do as JC. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on my stream yesterday, and then going into Scribe stream was a blast yesterday. But it's Friday. We gotta let loose. We gotta have fun. You know, everybody's been working hard all week. You guys want to let loose too and watch us make complete fools of ourselves. And that's what it's all about. Just to make you giggle, make you laugh, make you have fun, do all that stuff, get blitzed and have fun. That's what it's all about. And I hope you guys enjoy those. A lot of people do. So that's why we continue to do that. Now, next Friday will probably not be a stream. I will not be available next Friday for a stream. I'm going to be not available. And we'll be in between JC anyway, so usually on Fridays like that, Scribe likes to take the day off and things of that nature. So there you go. So good morning, everybody. Well, Pliskin, good morning, my friend. G-Dub over on Twitch says, oh, good morning there, Budge. Oh, yeah, there, Budge. How's it going there? Says, hope you're having just a fantastic Saturday. Yeah, sure am there, Budge. Oh, yeah, that's just fantastical. Glad to have your G-Dub who put some pain on me last night with the Fernet. The North remembers. Thank you very much, Steve. What else? 73, my man says, good morning. It's Saturday or something. Yeah, I think something along those lines. It is Saturday. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, we did our GC last night. Again, what can I tell you? It's Kyber. Kyber 1, it's 3v3, and it's just efficiency wars. I've pretty much full cleared every round that I've done, and well, except for the one, but we didn't bother because it was like, oh, we're having fun. That was the fun match with Desecrim, and because it's like, man, I was just glad to have him on. Southern Desi, as he's known around these parts. And yeah, so but we'll see. I'll let you know if my opponent wins. Then God bless him. I mean, I scored like what, a 2060. I mean, pretty good, but that don't mean a damn thing because they can go in there and just smoke our ass and get 2070 or 2080. We've had that happen before, so yeah. I almost lost getting to 2076 last week. Yeah. I mean, you saw those matches. What else 73 has seen these matches where I scored a 2081 and lost by 2 to 2083 and vice versa. We've had a couple of those where it's like, God almighty, you can't play it any better and get not a good result. It's what it is, you know. I do think it makes it a little bit easier on my opponents when I do go first like that and score, because then they can try to figure things out and maybe take a little bit more risk and things of that nature. But it is what it is. Um, for me, doing JC is more about just showing the counter, showing the teams. Then you guys see the fights, talk about why we're doing certain things, what works, those kind of things. I think having the discussion. Um, so yeah, and it's not like we're not putting shit on defense. I've got 4 GLs on defense with a bunch of other crazy stuff, right? It's more the fact that they're just, if they go full offense, they go full offense. There's not much you can do to stop them unless some RNG of strangeness goes on or something, but it is what it is. What else I need? Bro, Vash says, bro, I need a new guild. My guild is only getting like 20 to 25K tickets daily. If you ain't first, you're last. Get it hooked up in the chat there, Vash. Somebody who's looking for a homie. Vash is looking for some new homies. Let's see if we can get him squared away. What else? 2089 is the soft max. People are playing full offense and going what's on defense because CG is rewarding playing 50% of them. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I just think we have too much teams for offense to be because back in the day we had certain amount of teams. The problem with GC in the past was that if you had the one team when this all first started, then you could block your opponent just basically and win. As that has expanded, as we've gotten more teams and more counters, like we didn't use Malgas last night. We just didn't. We didn't use Malgas on some other teams. So it's just, and it's not like we're not setting like wussy defenses. We're putting what I think is a really strong defense. We're putting some really powerful teams down with really good crons, but it just doesn't matter because if they keep everything for offense, then they can just go through and blitz you. You know, uh, Especially up in Kyber 1. Now that changes as you start dropping to Kyber and other things. Then you get into those scenarios again where you have a team that has a certain cron and you can block your opponent. But we know that there is a discrepancy in some of the skill-based matchmaking and stuff. So yeah, I agree, boss. I think Upper Kyber needs more teams for defense. Just to expand the to ferret out some of these teams, having another team or two in each zone for defense, again, makes you think a little bit more what you're going to hold on. Now, some people will still see that, boss. You know how this is. It's like, I'll just keep everything for offense. It won't matter. They're just going to try to score max potential because they just don't want to put anything on defense. But I think at least being forced to put more teams on defense will give them less options for that. So, yeah. Another zone, maybe. I don't know, G-Dub. I mean, again, we float these ideas. I'm just throwing ideas out. I'm not saying that's the answer, but we do know that an expansion in Upper Kyber, not all of Kyber or below. I think CG just does a blanket thing. It's like, no, don't do a blanket thing. I mean, certain levels of GAC need to be expanded, not the whole goddamn Kyber division. So. Yeah, it's too because the crons too. I mean, yeah, some of the crons for defense can be really nightmarish. You've seen that. What else? Any three? But if you've got an offensive one, and you've got the right team, like it's like Jabba. I mean, Jabba is pretty awful to face with the Tankron and all that stuff. It's just a very long match. But if you have GMK with any kind of offense and all the armor penetration stuff, you know what you're doing. So you go in and you kick the shit out of it, right? You know, I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Person has, especially in Carbon 1, they've got all the teams, they've got most of the counters, you know, so they're going to go through and they're going to do what they do. And, you know, so, yeah. But when I've got teams left over like we did yesterday, where it's like I've got Malgus, I had so many teams left over, it was crazy, that we didn't use. Sure, not the most powerful teams, but I mean, Malgus is pretty potent. I mean, we've had those fights in the past where it's like, damn, I had this left over. You know, we still had Phoenix, we still had Malgus, we still had with the Rexcron. I didn't even use that. We had all this stuff. It's like, holy God, you know. So we'll see what happens. I mean, and again, it's different at different levels because, again, like the old way of GC is playing in the lower Kybers and below. If you have a certain team with a certain cron, they don't have the right counter for it. That could be like the old GAC. So it's very different in each one. I can only talk about what I'm seeing in the upper Kyber one, what I think can be done there. But also know that the skill-based matchmaking for other players in the different divisions are facing different things and all this other stuff. So yeah. I put 4 Geos on defense. I still had 2 Geos left over I didn't use last week. Like, I'm sure we had that one where I'm like, am I not going to use a GL here? Am I crazy? We had that one fight. I'm like, good God. I'm not going to use JML. We did, but you know. Skill base is a lie. Everything's a lie, Vash. Are we really here? It's just a simulation. You know, there's some stuff they need to definitely work on and tweak with the skill-based matchmaking. I think they're getting lazy with it again. The squishing is happening again. It's just frustrating players. They haven't really touched JC zones or expansion of teams or anything like that in a hot minute. So, yeah. We'll see. I see through the lies of the skill-based matchmaking. I have brought peace, freedom to my GAC. The old GAC. Well done, Vash. Well done. Took in episode 3 lines and twisting it. We do it here all the time. I love it. So yeah, get your questions in, comments and stuff. We'll keep talking about it. So I'm watching my opponent right now. I mean, barring something crazy happening, it's going to come down to the wire, you know. And the other thing too is really for me, it comes down to ship RNG. So yeah, if we have good ship RNG like we did last night, you know, great. But if we get any boo-boos and we lose some banners, that can really affect if we're going to win or not. Yeah, I was thinking about this. What else, Anthony? Seems like we should be getting the next 4 requirements for Ahsoka. Yeah, we'll get the next 4 requirements. Again, Ahsoka is... I'm getting the new characters. Death Trooper will be Relic 5 on Tuesday, right? Going through the process of doing the event, getting the shards, yada, yada, yada. I still think Balin's coming first. So my plan, and I hope your guys' plan, is if you're going to go for... Remember, Balin's coming too. So what I'm doing is, where I'm at in the game is, I'm getting the new characters and I'm just taking the Relic 5. No more, no less. And I'm just leaving them there because I want to see who comes out first because I want to have stockpile of things and then I'll throw those necessary relic requirements and stuff on that team so I can either get Balin first or Ahsoka, whoever comes out, in what order. So I'm not going to put anything on a character, but it will be nice. We should get him this week, the next requirements, because, well, maybe not until next week. They've been in the cycle where marquee every 2 weeks, right? I think the next marquee will be for Balin. What is it? The Great Mothers. Have them come out and they'll be for them. I mean, it's like they're going back and forth for each side. Like you get one for Balin, then you get one for Ahsoka, then you get one for Balin, then you get one for Ahsoka. And so we know that the Great Mothers are still coming out, and we know that Enoch is coming out. We have 2 more announced characters. I still think we're getting a Shin. and she's going to be the last one that's going to be, hey, hey. So I won my first match because my opponent dropped a battle versus profundity. It can happen, man. I mean, there's certain RNG in ships that you just have to, that can happen, you know? Was it, I've seen twice now with the offensive set of Leviathan versus Leviathan. Scribe lose that. It can happen. It's just the way it goes. You get the wrong dodge or wrong thing at the wrong time. I mean, it's just like, yeah. It last year was definitely the year of the ship. This year we've barely gotten anything on ships. G-Dub. I think their concentration is more on these two main things. Now, by the end of the year, we may get some more ship stuff. I'm really surprised too. We really thought that they were in the same pattern for the last couple years, where it was like a Galactic Legend ship release. For some reason, they decided that that's not the plan. That they want to get these characters into the game first, and then they'll go back to ships. So yeah, you're currently 7-1 this season. Very nice, boss. Careful, Icarus. You'll climb too high and have your wax wings melt by the sun. Fall back down to the earth. Careful, Icarus. That's impressive. Most impressive, boss lover. Hello, Tumblr Dry, man with the best friend in the business this afternoon, Ranger Skewers. Skull Jahal. Hello. Nathaniel Morgan says Relic 10 or bust. Nah, I ain't getting no Relic 10 anytime soon. Well, the tea leaves and everything say that's not happening, but you never know. So it's a possibility, Nathaniel Morgan. Anything is a possibility. Yeah, boss, man, something's gonna come back and bite you in the butt with that kind of record, you know. First round of fives might be pretty awful. I mean, for me, going 5-4 in GAC or 6-3 is fine. I don't care anymore. I'm not with the squish and everything. It's just kind of playing it and doing it with you guys is fine. I don't mind doing that, but as long as I land and stay in Kyber 1 for the most part, get my crystals, that's all I care about. Because, you know, if they're going to keep squishing me down, what's the point of me putting in max effort? He does says my wings definitely got seared. Chromie 2 is just too high for me. I'll fall back down to where I need to be. Here's careful, Icarus. Careful. You got an ad. I can't do anything about the ads there, boss Livewire. That's just the way it is. You would think we would get more revenue from all these ads that play here and everything. Yeah. Pilkins, what's going on? Facing 10 to 11 million counts in Kyber 4. I mean, people drop. We've talked about the skill-based matchmaking. They need to kind of, yeah, stupid squish. Yeah. You know, there's some things they definitely need to get tweaked and worked on for this. So, yeah. Yes. Careful, look at us. Careful. The wax wings melt. Careful, look at us. So yeah, get your questions in. Johnny B. Good. No, Johnny B65 says, remember, even if CG wants to do ships, enter Disney the Great Equalizer. Yeah, baby, but I mean, ships has always been kind of the redheaded stepchild of this game. I can say that because I am a redheaded stepchild. It gets love and then it's forgotten about, and then they come back to ships and then it gets forgotten about. I don't know. I mean, I don't think ships has been fully realized, or I don't know if ships feels helter skelter. It's a thing they brought in, but they're not quite sure what to do with, so they keep doing stuff, and then, you know, I don't know. And it's been very inconsistency. I mean, and let's be honest, the characters bring in way more revenue than ships do. But I think we could balance this long term if we had a ship every 2 months come in. Now, you want to do your characters and stuff, sure, but you know, if you want to really expand, you know, give a little bit more love to Fleet. And I know there are people out there that really love Fleet, and that's great, but we need to get more rounding of some of these teams, and I don't know, it's a lot that they need to get done on ships. Day One Bean, what's going on? Says laughing at us. I get 2 cents per stream off ads. And do you dirty? That's right. It's super funny. K3, a lot less work. I want a new meta. Too many new climbers in my shard. Yeah, it's been happening in ours too. It's like, okay. I think we're going to get one by the end of the year because we know this fall is going to be Balin and Ahsoka. And then what they could do, since the legendary Balin is coming out this fall along with Ahsoka, right? Is that ship, they might have just waited to move ships to the end of the year, like for the Christmas holidays and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Hello, Desi Jingle Schnarf Schnarf. Schnarf Schnarf. LBC, what's up? Says I wish I could say the same. I'm on a suicide watch for 2 days when I go on 0-3 in GAC. Morning to all in our fabulous academy. Hello, LBC Rob. Just take your beating, man. I take a beating. I've taken a beating before. I've climbed too high. I didn't listen to my own words. Careful, look at us. I was once a Jedi Knight like your father. Top of Kyber. Kyber 1. Climbed into the top 200-300. Got destroyed. Fell back down. And I haven't regretted staying there since. Trust me. I have been near the top of the mountain. It is very dangerous. Everyone is expecting Luthien's ship, but what is CG's plan? We don't know. Again, they're not going to tell us what their plan is long term. I do think Luthien's ship will come in. There'll be some kind of rebel ship, obviously, associated with one of the 2 rebel fleets, but we don't know what it's going to do yet and when they're going to bring that in. We know we've got Luthien. And for me, Luthien will be, unlocked this round. I mean, this conquest for me is what I call my cache conquest. I don't give a crap about Red Crate. I just go in there mainly because I want to round out my datacrons moving forward. So we do. And so, yeah, I'm just going to be farming datacron stuff. And that's it. Because I only need, I need 75 shards or 65 shards to unlock him after getting 2, the 2 red crates and everything with a pack. I don't need the pack. I don't need to do anything. I just need to clear to Sector 5 farm, and I'm going to get my impulse detectors. I'm going to get my datacron stuff, and Luthien will come naturally. But I don't plan on doing anything with Luthien initially. Again, Balin, Ahsoka, priority. I'll go back to Luthien, of course. I'd like to have him. I think he's a good character, but I don't think he's game-changing. Yeah, I think it was more of a stopgap. Nathaniel Morgan says Luthien is so random. I'm glad he's in the game. I mean, he's one of my favorite characters from the Andor series. But yeah, I think he was just the stopgap until they were ready for, because we know the next character is going to be Ezra. So there you go. That's all right, Rob. All right, says I know I shouldn't complain about having 4 geos and I'm in and out of cover 1 and 2. Yeah. Careful, look at us. Careful, look at us. Profundity Lifter put it in the top dog fleet POG, says Pillowcus. All right. Will they boost Home 1? Will Trench get a ship? What happened to Nihilus? We don't know. I don't know what they're doing with fleets. I mean, I really thought, and it still could happen, that this year was going to be a Trench fleet, that they were going to expand out some of the Separatist stuff, just like they did with Galactic Republic. That we would either get a Trench or a Newt Gunray, kind of capital ship, and that we would get some like Tri-Fighter, and we'd have more of a droid fleet, and then we would take like Asajj would get a ship, and Dooku's ship would come in, and we would have a Separatist fleet that was associated with the new fleet and stuff like that. Something along those lines, so they would expand that out. Didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. Again, we'll see what happens during the holiday season this year, which is, that November, December, I call January that time period where we have some kind of release and what's going to happen. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be the thing. It's definitely for me. I think it's Separatist. Yeah, Nihilus could always get a capital ship. I don't think they're going to do that after Leviathan. No. Nathaniel Morgan, that's right. 8 geos in Kyber 4. No F's given. None taken. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We roll with the punches. We see what CG does. I got to say, though, that this new marquee system, I'm very happy that they maintained it. I think it's given a lot more accessibility to more players to get them more interested in characters. So I love that. Now, I'd like to see them do the same thing for ships. And I'd also like to see them start fast tracking this ship farm. But again, it's just like they're just helter skelter all over the place with ships. So, you know, we get characters that are expedited all the time, but we still have ships that are from the beginning of ships so that, you know, like, we do need a lot more ships. I agree. I think we need to round out some fleets, get some more ships in there. And we've talked about the different ships for each faction that could be brought in to really help, you know, get fully option, because we like options, right? We like, so yeah. Ship. Not that what else in the three. Fast track the ship. Ship. She shores on a she shore. Hi, Linky. Slinky. It's fun for a girl and a boy. Says hi. Hi, buddy. Are you doing the 2 purchases plus 5 from the web store? Yes, I am, Pillicus. I didn't see that one pack there. So I always get the initial pack there, Pillicus. I mean, if you're going to spend, you're going to, I mean, it just saves you crystals and all that stuff, right? But that other pack popped in and I'm like, really? $18? Gimme. It's like I can save my crystals toward the next one because I'm going to need crystals, because we all know I roll Swevens here all the time, and I approve that again. We did get a couple 12s, at 2 12s, but don't worry, we got 2 5s to balance it out. So yeah. But because we were 30 away, I'm like, well, there's 30 shards right there. Save my crystals, get some stuff that I need, Omicron, and then everything. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the $18 pack. So, oh, Linky, God bless you. He says no 330. No. God bless you, Linky, but no. Watching my opponent in JC right now just blitz through me. Getting very sad. Probably gonna lose another efficiency battle war here. Even though we full cleared, it means nothing. What could men do against such reckless hate? I don't know. So our opponent is just blasting through our defense. And again, we put stuff on defense that, like, God almighty. But it's 3s. What are you going to do? He hasn't dropped any battles, and he's been doing quite well. He's blitzing right now. Been getting 57s in the last few battles. It's like, Jesus, he just got 57 on Java, which is understandable because, well, you guys, JMK, that's not hard. We did that too, so. Yeah, but we got some 5s in return, Nathaniel Morgan, so don't worry about it. It always equals out. The Illuminati will not stand for me getting, if something slips through the cracks, they will adjust it so I get some 5s instead of Swevens and be miserable. Well, it doesn't really matter what cron you have on Ray. If you've got depending on which cron you run, it's either going to be Star Killer, but we already know Malikos just throw rocks, win. He's just so nasty against that team. So yeah. It's like SRKR right now versus with the cron versus. I mean, it's just certain times, certain crons, certain teams, just a nuke. Like we use SRKR religiously against Leia. Why wouldn't you? You poke Drogon, and then you just AoE, and then eventually that team goes on. And the one we faced last night had like the grid or whatever it was, the tank cron, and pain in the ass. But I mean, you're eventually going to ramp up SLKR and just win. Yeah. You pull down 2 Star Destroyers. Well, you really don't need to. Once the first one comes in, I mean, yeah. Sexy Rexy is doing some lurking. What's going on, Sexual Tyrannosaurus? What's going on, buddy? But it's quite so. I put 4 GLs and the Queen Amidala team and Gungans, which Gungans have Treya in this. So. But I mean, yeah. It's just eating them. Which I knew they would because they only put like 3 GLs down. I'm like, all right, here we go again. And we scored like a 2060, but I just don't, barring some kind of craziness happening, it's going to be another full clear loss. SOKR Special Forces Cron easily handles it. Sexy Rexy, for sure. I mean, I just poke Drogon, start AoEing. You're going to lose your officer. That's fine. And then you just AoE them down. And we've done that every round. It's like poke, AoE, ultimate, kill, keep killing. We had it last night and then we still beat it. So, I mean, that's what I've been using. We've beat it every time. So, not that it matters. Again, one shot, full clears every round. You think I'll be undefeated? I'm not. Efficiency. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's designed with the SLKR for sort of cron that, especially if you have high, and I have exceptionally high stats on it, with the level 6 and stuff. I mean, Kylo's just like poke Drogon, almost kill him, and then you AoE, go through the process, and just keep him locked in, and eventually it's game over. I mean, it can get a little wonky with the AI going for Kylo, but I mean, with Art 2, especially the Tankron and Lay, they're just not able to kill. If you have Kylo modded correctly, which is speed with a lot of health and damage, he should be able to do fine. Yeah, you've got to have the, yeah, exactly. So for us, we have like 580 something speed on our Kylo with 12k something damage, but lots of health on him. So ours can go first and take hits. So that's, and usually once we get a certain pattern in 3v3, for me, I'm like, that's what I'm using. When I see it, it's like, I'm not using anything. I'm using that there. Desi says, dang it, now I have to do a remod. Well, Desi jingles snarf snarf. You should have known by now that that's the way we do Kylo. Now, I've done Kylo in the past differently, where we had heavy offense, way less speed, heavy health, heavy offense. I mean, we had ours 15, 16k damage on him. It was more about this massive hits, but as Datacrons have come out and changed it a little bit, you're better off going speed on Kylo. You want him to go first. You want him, like you say, you're facing a GMK or a Leia, you want to be able to go first to stun the certain character. But I gotta say, man, using first order on against JMK, I know we use that counter a lot in TW. That's feast or famine. If they decide to go after Kylo, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. Especially if they got the get around taunt one. I mean, it's really rude. It's brutal. But if you can just get a little bit of leeway, you can beat the JMKT with SRKR. But it's not as reliable as I think using him against Leia. Yeah, basically, Sexy Rexy. I mean, it's like God Almighty. It's just immediately they're just going after Kylo. You can't get to ultimate fast enough, even with a controlling cat. It's frustrating. And when it happens, I was like, well, they beat the snot out of Kylo. I pulled out. But it's 50-50 for me. Either I get the right RNG in the opening so I can kill it, or it's not. I'm like, well, that didn't work. Good luck. LBC, I lost round 2 of last week because I botched the opening trying to get 79, and somehow on auto SWGOH lost a GG Watt B1 squad, lost by 4. Oh no. It happens, man. Sometimes RNG gets you, man. I mean, it you can do the battles and have all the counters and stuff, but get that wrong RNG, especially in ships, man. It'll ruin your day. It'll definitely ruin your day. I mean, how many times have I full cleared the entire, one shot the entire ground pounders? Then we get the fleet and same counters we always use, but something goes haywire, and you're just like, okay, well, this is gonna be one of the matches. It's happened to all of us. So, and then even on ground pounding, that you can get some strange stuff happening. Or Sexy Rexy says, or like me last night when I was too drunk and took the wrong team in with EP Star Killer. That could happen. Yeah. I would just like to say Karth has won again with our drunkenness. We are killing it. Me and Dribbles are killing it. Like Karth was going to kill me last night. I was intentionally being a butthole. But I had to because he was blitzing me with the PayPal for shoeies and stuff. I'm like, okay, you're gonna screw me. I'm gonna be kick back. It was a lot of fun last. We always have fun on Friday. I put an I instead of Mary Jade. Oh no, it's all female and dark side Aria. I hate those new portraits. Just slow down, sexy Rexy. Slow down. We've all done that before. I think the funniest one is when the 2 times that me and Scribe have gone to use Han, Chewie, and Dash, and then we put in Clone Wars Chewie, and we still won the fight. That was funny. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Chewie, that's Clone Wars Chewie. Luckily, Clone Wars Chewie was Relic 9 and was a badass, so we were able to pull it off. TK Blaze is hello there. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here now. TK Blaze is never late, nor is he early for the dragons. He arrives precisely when he means to. Yeah, go back and watch the fights. We did that. Glad to have you here, TK Blaze. Okay, keep your questions coming in, comments coming in. Good discussions, good times. Great. We'll do this stream and then I'll take a break. We're gonna do some some character creation tonight for some D&D. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't have the Scythe or Inquisitors. I have Scythe. It's just him. Yeah, I get you, LBC. Thank you, TK Blaze. I try to be funny. No, Linky, there's not going to be any hanging right now. Nobody's done anything for a hanging freezing, so let's not start that crap. It's Saturday morning. Bringing people on a Saturday morning, good lord. Hanging for epic fells? Well, then we'd all have to hang. We'd all get hung. What are we talking about here, Sexy Rex? We've all done that. How many times have we poo-pooed the bed? Quite a few times. Oh, you can, boss, but I don't know if any of those are here right now. We did that. Desi, we set defense already. What are you talking about? The hell? Oh, I didn't have SC alerts on. There you go. Oh, there's a reason why, because, yeah, but thank you for the gifted sub there, Sexy Rexy. I've got the alerts off right now. Well, not, they're on. I just don't have them playing right now. Jedi Academy usually does. But thank you for the gifted sub, tier 1 to Boss Livewire. Appreciate it. No, Neo Venom. There's too early. It's Saturday. Get that crap out of here. You're welcome. Yeah, that's right. Boss Livewire says thank you. Thank you, Sexy Rexy. That's right. And no, Neo Venom. Too early for hangings. Let's not start that. So, Wolfman, when have I not? Like once in a while, but that's more like I will take weekends off from Jedi Academy. Like there's not going to be a Jedi Academy next weekend. So regardless of what happens on a Friday, 95% of the time I'm going to be doing Jedi Academy. Did it last weekend. I did it the weekend before. So yeah, I felt like it. I was like, God Almighty, am I going to be able to make it to Jedi Academy? It's like, is this the weekend? I have had too much. Question Ranger, what do you think I should prioritize first, considering the Cairo, Jabba, or Inquisitors? Jabba. Until your Inquisitors all are up and running and you're ready to go for Grand Inquisitors, and I mean by the farms, go for Jabba's always, it's a GL and he's really good.
You blundering fool!
That's true, Wolfman. You have done that to yourself. That's true. Love that Saturday mornings with you too, Rob. Glad to have you here. Yeah, but most times on after Friday, I will do Jedi Academy. Now next Friday we're not gonna have a Friday stream because it's the start of Conquest. There's no JC. I know Scribe's not gonna be streaming, and then I'm gonna be out of town, so no point. So yeah. Simone Biles is the GOAT. That if even if you're not a gymnastics fan, just watching what that little bouncing Energizer bunny of insanity does on all those things, it's incredible. She's one of the most gifted athletes I have ever seen. I'm just blown away watching her. She is incredible, man. She is so good. But all the athletes at the Olympics are really incredible. They're just so good. Hey, Jedi Rules over on YouTube. Sasay from San Diego. What's going on, buddy? And just became upped his membership for over on YouTube to 13 months. Thank you, Jedi Rules, our Legoland master from San Diego. I care, Sexy Rexy. I love the Olympics, man. When I'm not doing stuff, I've been having the Olympics in the background, and even anything, right? It's just really awesome. My hours are going to be crazy till September. Well, LBC Rob, you save people's lives. You're always going to have crazy hours. Yeah, Ledecky. Yeah, they're all good. I mean, and I even respect like the athletes from the other countries. Yeah, of course, I'm pulling for the USA, but I mean, that's incredible the stuff that they do. You know, especially that's the swimming. They're insane, and I love it. Just mad respect to all of our Olympians. Just the fact that they are an Olympian and what they went through to get there, and what they have to do to try to compete, and then just to win a medal. That's insane. They're insane. Yeah, I'm ready for the U.S. I mean, they just started that in the what was it set the world record in the 4x4. It's like God, USA in track and field is they're monster. Oh my god. I don't know anything about that. What else 23? Prelim started, yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. You know, I mean, watching the men's gymnast team and that one kid that can't see that did the pommel horse. It was so great to see his excitement when they got a medal. It was like, oh, that's so great. Watching the women's rugby team do the first thing ever by beating Australia in rugby, which was incredible. So yeah, I bet you do, Jedi Rolls. We're getting to the dog days of summer. Yeah, I'm watching my Stros. You're watching your Padres. There you go. Ledecky is a freak. They're all freaks, man. We have the Olympics going on right now. You do have the summer league going on in basketball, Weddle 73, but that's about it. Oh, Kimmy, hit me, Kimmy, one more time over on YouTube. Says question. I'm finally done with Leia. Can't decide what next for me, Inquisitors or Bow. Whichever one. If you don't have your Inquisitors farmed, unless you're going hard all the way for Riva with your guild, Kimmy, probably Bow. That team up and running because she's so bloody good. They're both good choices. So whichever one you feel you're close to and or want to farm. Give yourself a little break after the Leia farm. Fact. U.S. is playing Puerto Rico in basketball right now. Feel bad for Puerto Rico. I was at the Hide in the Gas lamp across from the stadium on Tuesday. I thought about you. Thank you. Wow, the original Dream Team is the greatest basketball team I've ever seen assembled. I mean, good lord, with legends in there like that they had. So good morning to everybody. Welcome to the Jedi Academy. And I think the next Olympic Games are in LA this next one, right? 2028, right? Summer Games. Got that right, correct? Range of my Padres tie with the Dodgers for the NL West title. They win the division. Oh, nice. Yeah, go get come be part of the 2%, Kimmy. That's right. It's just ruining my defense here. I mean, I'm watching while I'm doing this and everything. I'm just watching JC slowly unfold. It's like, mm-hmm. Now it's going to be interesting because of what I put on defense. I don't know what he's going to do because he went all meta on defense. I'm like, well, what are you going to use here, brother? That's right, Wet Pliskin. You are part of the 2%. That's right. Oh, the Dodgers suck. I mean, let's look at the MLB standings for the National League. I haven't kept track of that. I've just been watching my AL West. Let's look at that. Dodgers are 63 and 47. The Padres are 4.5 back. The Diamondbacks are 4 out. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Phillies are still romping. Braves are still thing. The Mets being with the winning record, I'm really impressed with how the Mets have turned it around. Brewers got their division kind of in the lock, but yeah, it'll be interesting with the Diamondbacks, the Padres making a run here. There you go. I mean, they're 26 games over 500, I think. 16 games over 500. So they're doing solid, but yeah, I don't think they suck. Trust me, there's about 90% of other teams love to have the Dodgers record right now. Good, Richard Mazzello. Good to see you on a Saturday morning. Hello, my friend. This Morning Ranger. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Thank you for taking care of that thing with the guy. I got some more work for you later. Hello, Richard. Getting the coffee into me. He does very well in fleets. He has to average 68 in fleets, and then he wins. But I don't know what he's going to use here because he doesn't have any of the meta fleets for offense. I've got Negotiator, Executor, Triple Starter, which will take banners. Yes, yes. Yeah, but they're still basically 5 games behind their Jedi rules. They gotta catch them. So we'll see. This is the dog days of the baseball season. August is the toughest month. You got to set yourself up to make a good record so you can make the big push in September. LBC says, yeah, it would be a great amount of money. I know San Diego from fall, but beach better than ever. Oh, very nice. What are you using against Triple Packer? Maybe Empire here. All right, keep your questions coming in. We got the Jedi Academy coming to the top of the hour. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday morning. I'm drinking coffee. Then I'm going to be chilling the rest of the day. I will be back tonight, 8 Eastern or 7 Central on these 2 channels. We're going to start a new D&D campaign. I got to roll the characters. I always do that live. People enjoy seeing new characters being rolled. So we'll do that tonight. Get some D&D started here on the channel. That'll be a lot of fun. We've been doing some Baldur's Gate with me and Alchie and everybody. That's been a lot of fun. Then tomorrow I'll be off, and then Monday through Thursday next week will be the normal routine. And then be gone next weekend. Then we'll just continue. We'll just continue going forward. Just fantastic. It's fantastic stuff. Got 73. What did you use? Oh goodness. Yeah, barring a miracle, we're going to lose another round of GAC based on efficiency. Oh goodness. Question: is there too many new releases to keep up with? No, they're on a pretty steady pace there, LBC Rob. So no, I don't think so. Yeah, and then with the new marquee format, it's not like back in the day, if they were doing a marquee release right now, the way that the old system of how you got a marquee, it would feel a lot more daunting than it is. I would still be in, if that was the case, I would still be in my old pattern of just, all right, unlock the characters, maybe get them the 5 stars, and then they could sit there and I'll wait till I can farm out of shipments. I wouldn't get the characters right when they first came out, but the new marquee system and stuff, it's much more accessible quicker than it was before. Yeah, I mean, every game's going to do that. True sexy. Yeah, you don't have to get GL Ahsoka right away. You don't have to get Balin right away. I mean, but the new marquee system does allow, I think, very much a higher rate of people getting those characters if they wanted to. There's not as much, and I think more people are investing in these characters because it's like, God, pretty good deal if you want to spend a little money in this game. Not bad. Not bad at all. Or you can just stick on the farm that you got. You do with your light speed bundles and stuff. If you're catching up, there's nothing saying you have to get any of this stuff. I'm in the end game, so of course I'm going to get these new characters. Got to keep up. But if you're mid tier and you're working on stuff, just keep working on stuff. You got your light speed bundles. You're working on getting your Zetas for those characters and mods and things. You're going back and working on that stuff. So yeah. Richard Mozilla, what do you think the likelihood is that they revisit TFA next year with it being its 10th anniversary? Maybe. I don't know what they would bring in. They've got most, if not all, the characters from that. Linky says, I'm waiting for the GL Ahsoka Lightspeed bundle. That will definitely be a thing one day. Yeah, the free shards they've been giving too for the characters for yeah, they've done a good job with this stuff, and I think people are very much more comfortable with the new marquee system. They really like it, and I think CG's keeping it because they're seeing that a lot of people are making an investment in the game because it's more reasonable with the characters and stuff. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith makes more sense than The Force Awakens. I agree with Boss. I forgot next year is 20 years for Revenge of the Sith. Kimmy says, yes, if you're trying to keep up and you don't well out, free to play or light spender is going to take a while. So just put what you really like. Eventually you'll get a great roster. Yeah, takes time. I'm just watching my JC go down in flames again. Christ. We could get Maz maybe as a little tip of the cap there, boss, to The Force Awakens. I could see that. Yeah. Hey. Put me out of my misery, buddy. Are you going in now? I scored a 2059 again, 2060. Same thing like last time. I'm going to lose again. I mean, so ridiculous. What are you going to do? Is Attack of the Clones? No, 2005, 2025. That's Revenge of the Sith. That's 20 years. It's not Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones came out in 2002. So 2022 would have been the year for the 20th anniversary for Attack of the Clones. Feel bad I'm going to get skunked here. One shot full clear and I'm going to lose. Yeah, this game mode 3v3s gives me gas, man. It's just efficiency wars, man. This guy kept everything for efficiency. I scored a crazy good score. You know, we had some battles here and there, but we were using our counters and didn't, you know, it's ridiculous. I hate threes. I hate threes so much. But we do the fights. We do the fights. Yeah, one more fight and we're out of the woods for Bill comes back and whenever. But yeah, threes is just it's awful. I was probably gonna score like 2081 or something ridiculous here. 2077. So even though I scored 2060, they just blitz through. 2077, they win. Here. Not a goddamn thing I can do. I can't put any more stuff on defense line with Owen and little FU defense, and even then I don't think if they as efficient as they played that it matters. Yeah. So damn near perfect. But it was easy. He only put 3 GLs down, and you know, it happens in fives too. But I mean, yeah, it's just we need to expand the for Upper Kyber. We need to expand the amount of teams and stuff because it's just if you decide to go full offense, you put in all your A teams, couple GLs, and you keep everything, and then you're just like because it doesn't matter what I put on defense. Last couple rounds, they've just gotten ridiculous scores, and I can't stop it. You know, it's not like, you know, you would think with 4 GLs and the Queen Amidala team, it were like 9 with the Kron and everything that we put down on defense. I mean, there's nothing I can put on defense that they won't have a counter for. It's just a matter of how the RNG goes, and that sucks to wait on. And then they have everything for offense, and then they just get 57, 57, 57. I mean, 2077 is a ridiculous score. Well done by our opponent, but it's like, God almighty. Especially with what our options are for offense with counters and everything. So if you go efficiency for offense, you know, as long as you know what you're doing. I mean, we've one shot the board, but you know, uh, oh well. We'll do it again on Monday. We'll probably do another one shot full clear, and then you'll see what happens. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Crystals, mishtals. Yeah, who would want crystals? All right, get your questions in. We're gonna go for another, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes, so roughly around there. Then I'm going to go get my stuff started. Trying to think of what I want to use. I'm probably going to put in for fives. I'm probably going to put once we get Death Trooper done. I think it would be kind of cool to have Death Trooper with DTMG, Night Trooper, and the boys on defense. We may do that for fives. It doesn't really matter, Vash. Yeah, I mean, with the squish, it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, it's 20 crystal difference. I'm not that bothered with the squish getting knocked back into Kyber 2 again like I was previously. So it's, yeah, and I take 1 or 2 inflate every day. So for me, every crystal matters to me. I value them, but it's not game break. It's not about the crystals. It's just about like can't stop anybody on defense anymore. And again, we'll put a really solid defense in fives, but they know what they're doing. There's not much I can do about it. You know, they're gonna blitz through. They're gonna blitz through. I mean, they had 5 GLs plus some of their other bow and other teams, so they had many good options against our teams and just destroyed it. So I'll be glad when threes is over, for God's sakes. Ranger 455 GAC. I'll probably have the new pad mate. Nice. Ah, Queen Amidala of the Naboo. Nice, Jedi rules. Yeah, we're plugging along. As I said, I'll have the new. I'm going to have the new death trooper up and running. I think a Imperial Remnant team on defense would be nice. I just don't know if I want to put him in the front and put him in the back as a surprise. Put him in the back as a surprise, like Peekaboo. At you. They don't have a lot of options. They've gone through some of their options before they get to that back wall. Make them sweat a little bit. I think that'd be nice. It'd be pretty cute. We have the prawn as well, so that'll be pretty cute. I'm thinking of doing that. Crazy, man. Yeah, I think that. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Oh, I know. Desi likes the nibbling and all that stuff, so yes. But we'll edit our 5v5 defense and stuff when we get to it. Yeah, I'm going to put that in Pro Remnant team. I think we'll put it in the back, give somebody some headaches with that. Be pretty nice. Oh, goodness. All right, get your questions in and stuff. We'll go a little while longer here, so whatever on your mind about the game and stuff. But yeah, I do like the new animations. I think they do a good job with the new kits and characters for the most part. The Drunk Trooper duo between him and Night Trooper. Yeah, we'll have them both at Relic 5. Now, he's a TW. Omicron, I'm not putting that on, but we have the Omicron uh, for him and for that team, and we do have the Datacron, so I think that'll be a nice little surprise for the back wall. Yeah, Tuesday I'll get him unlocked. We'll take him to Relic 5, and then we'll pop that team on defense. We'll have 2 Wednesday to put him on, but that's fine. Get him locked in, get him Relic 5. G-Dev says, question, I know you said to take SRK to Relic 8, but those high mats are difficult for me to get since my build is only able to get set crate in the raid. Do you think Relic 7 is okay until we get... Yeah, that's fine. I remember, that's ideally G-Dub. That's the goal, but he works fine at Relic 7, especially at your level. He's fine at Relic 7. Eventually, you want to take him to Relic 8. Again, more damage, more survivability, all that stuff, right? The stats start stacking, and you have the thing for every relic level on your GL. They just get more powerful. The way they have it structured, right? With their GL bonus that they have in the one kit. But if you all you can do is Relic 7 right now, that is more than enough, man. Yeah. And I tell you, ideally something, ideally this is the relic level from what everyone's seen. and the modding from experience what works the best. That's what but that doesn't that's what you're aiming for. It's not what you have to do immediately, especially if you're low tier, mid tier, and you're just getting started. Ideally this is what you want, but that's ideally. Go with what you can do right now, and Relic 7 is totally fine. And the best speed set and with offense and health that you can get. Like good speed on him, good offense, good health. But again, you have to work on your mods, and that eventually just takes time to get them there. Yeah, he'll be fine at Relic 7. And he'll be fine for Relic 7 for a long time until you get to that next stage where you can take him to Relic 8. Now, for me, like all my GLs are Relic 8 except for Leia, Luke, and Rey, but those are the ones you want at Relic 9. Well, yeah, but you've got some slicing stuff to do on that G-Dub. So again, I don't expect you as a newer player or where you're at to be running 580 something speed and have the modding that I do. I mean, that's just unrealistic. I mean, again, realistic expectations here, man. Would it be nice for you to get that? You bet your sweet bottom dollar it would be. But again, where you're at him right now is fine. If you can get him to Relic 8, all the better, right? It's a GL. You will get a lot of benefit from it. But Relic 7, he'll work fine. But eventually you do, as you progress higher into different tiers of the game and stuff, that the relic will matter. But where you're at right now and what you're doing and stuff, nah, man. Relic 7's fine. Your speed's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? But yeah, you're cool, dude. Don't again, long term, where do you want these characters with their modding and stuff? But that takes time. So understand that. LB says, yeah, I take the 20 crystal loss as a little more of an affront to my pride and can compensate. Not really. I mean, like, yeah, we just did a full one-shot full clear for 2060. I don't think my competency is in question. It's just I can't stop people that go full efficiency. I've tried. We put some really hard, just ridiculous teams on defense, but it don't matter. So, if I lose, I mean, these last few rounds I've lost, not because I didn't do what I needed to do. I guess I just wasn't as efficient as my opponent, but, I play a little bit more defensively. I could be wuss, but, it's like a little bit of a challenge. We do have a lot of stuff for offense, even though we put 4 GLs down on defense and all these teams that you've seen me put down. I don't think, I don't question my competency on that one. I mean, if your opponent, like when I scored that 2081 that one time and they got a 2083 and we lost, like, what do you do? I mean, you know what you're doing. You're playing the game right. You just had bad luck with some of the banners and stuff, and that's just the way it is, especially in threes, man. It's efficiency wars. So yeah, if they want to save everything for offense and just clear, they're going to do. I'm trying to see what teams on defense can trip people up with crons and stuff. Right now, I've not had much luck with it, so. Not a thing. Well, we'll get some more datacrons and we'll take it from there. Oh, look who's joined us. It's Har be me Wellen Cannoneer, part of me party crew. Carthragenicus be here. Har, good morning, Carthric.
What up?
What's going on, pimp?
Not much. Just got the dogs back from their morning walk, so
Oh, good.
they are all physically exhausted.
Well, Carth, we did another round of a full clear JC with a 2060 and loss. I don't know what to do anymore, dude.
Ouch.
Yeah, they
Oh
scored it.
man.
I can't stop them anymore, dude. I got 4 GLs, the Queen Amidala team. I've put so much on defense. I can't stop them. They're going efficiency, dude, and I can't stop them with nothing, dude.
Yeah, I suck at efficiency matches myself. I'm not great at them. I prefer the tough mutter kind of experience where you're just slinging through it, but That's the way the meta is right now, man. Like it's just there is too much on offense that if you overplace your defense and your opponent goes light, then you still run the risk of dropping and they'll steamroll your board.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so you have to get like either super technical in the defensive strategy, kind of like how I did mine last round, whereas like I placed a team that I've never placed three in this season of 3v3 and it caught them off guard and it worked. But I mean, it could have easily have not, and it would have been what it been. So it's just kind of how things are. And
Yeah.
it sucks. They really got to do something with a GAC board. Because it's like everything, they got too many good things going right now, and it just makes it really boring to play.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you have everything, you just steamroll. It's like, well, did I steamroll for 57s or was it a 56 average? And at that point, it kind of blows. So
Yeah. I mean, they were getting 57s on it. As soon as I saw the board, I'm like, God damn. Because we put 4 GLs on defense. We put the Queen Amidala team, the Gungan team, all the teams I thought that are a pain in the ass to deal with the level 9 crons and everything.
yeah,
Didn't stop. As soon as I saw that
no,
I was like, oh, he's got all his GLs, bows, and I'm like, oh, it'd be bad. And then once again, barring, as I said, crazy RNG, which can happen in any fight. I don't care if you have the right pieces or not, but yeah, goodness gracious.
yeah,
I hate
it's
the
just and then threes just has its own unique kinks too with things that you can get away with that you couldn't in fives because it's like Gungans can get countered by Padme in threes, and it's not like the cleanest fight in the world, but it is cheap as hell. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was talking about getting to have Death Trooper up and running for the next beginning of fives. Thinking of what Imperial Remnant team I want to run there. I know it's going to be DTMG and the two boys, and then I'm thinking, what else? Scout
you gonna have Night Trooper to 7 by the end of this marquee event?
5, but that's all I need. I'm not taking any character past 5 until
Oh,
I
okay.
know for what I'm just hoarding all my materials.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like I don't. I
Hold
think
on.
Balin's going to come
Let me
first.
let me rephrase this. You'll have him 7 stars by the
Yes.
end of the
Oh yeah.
marquee.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like Death Trooper Peridia is I think it'll be good with DTMG, but I don't think it's ideal because it wanders too far away from DTMG's core mechanics.
Mm,
And the real reason why Night Trooper with the Omicron and the Datacron go at DMT right now is because of all that support. He makes a really solid play there. Um, but honest to God, man, I think people are gonna miss out on the TIE fighter pilot being Imperial Remnant now. Because that's gonna be a nutty character to put down.
yeah. I was just thinking, do I go DTMG? I could go DTMG with Night Trooper, right? Because I've got the Datacron and stuff, and then I've got Morgan. But I don't know if I want to put Death Trooper with the Morgan team. I mean, it could be good.
Well, the new Death Trooper, I don't. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't know. I don't feel like Death Trooper has a solid place right now, in either team, just because his core mechanics don't really jive, and his real, you know, places in TW.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about that idea of forcing him in there because I think TFP is a really solid because he's going to get tons of additional damage on his basic because of demoralize.
Right.
Every debuffed enemy gives him 35% increased damage. So that's a huge tick. And his unique will trigger, I believe it triggers separately for every character that is debuffed and he gains turn meter on. So he's going to heal a ton every time he takes a turn. And then he's going to take tons of turns because every turn he takes, he gets 50% turn meter.
Yeah.
So I, um, I think it's going to be really nutty to have TFP there. I just don't know how it's going to shake loose. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to force Night Trooper on there unless the synergy between Death Trooper and Night Trooper is like just next level. But I'm not seeing that right now.
Yeah, I may put it just as a backline team just to mess with people.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking Morgan with the Night Sisters, like with the Tankron or something, could be really a pain in the ass.
It won't because of her unique. She prevents revives except for zombies revive.
True.
Because zombies can't be prevented. So there in 5 she won't have a team to go with unless you pull Asajj away from Talzin to split.
Right.
Which could be fine. But it's not like in 5s that becomes a much easier team to deal with too. I mean, it takes almost nothing in 3s to run over a Morgan team. I mean, Scribe did that last
Yeah,
night.
I've put it on defense with Night Trooper and like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And I've got
So
both
it's like,
Omicrons on. It's like I thought maybe that might help. No, nothing.
yeah, it's not going to change a heck of a lot right now, just because they are clearly designed to go with something else. Though I am interested to see um who Enoch ends up stealing, right? Because my assumption is that Enoch would be the tank. Um, because I figured Thrawn to be the support character.
Right.
If he shows up. But it clearly in both in Death Trooper's kit, it clearly says Imperial Remnant support leader. So if that ends up being the case, then it's like, who's your tank, or how do you, or do you, does Thrawn's presence all of a sudden allow revive mechanics that we don't know? There are just too many things that I don't know right now
Yeah.
that interest me on what their play is.
Well, we don't have the full teams. You know, we still got the Great Mothers coming. We've still got Enoch coming. I guarantee we got Shin coming because we know Balin's around the corner.
Oh yeah, Shin Hati has got to be there. Balin's coming at some point in the next few months. They already told us we're gonna get Glat's entire team. They're gonna ship us a brand new team for her. We know Ezra's one of them.
Yeah.
And then there's there's 2 other guaranteed characters, which will be, Padawan Sabine and then
Huang.
Hermit Ezra. And oh yeah, Ezra, and then Huang. Those 2 are like kind of confirmed. And then General Syndulla is a possibility. I don't
I
know
don't
who
think
else they would.
so.
I don't know who else they
They
pick
may
though.
include her as part of the team. But I don't even think so because I think they're going to leave it like they did with the Leia team. Whatever, one or two that you want to add. It's like, okay.
I don't think they do, because they said specifically in the post that they were going to ship us
The whole team.
the her new team.
Okay. Well, which I'm more than happy to have. Because we know Ezra will be appeased, so we just need 3 more characters. But I mean, it makes sense that a new Sabine, a new Hu Yang.
Yeah, those 2
You
make a
know,
ton of sense. It's just the last one doesn't make sense.
yeah, it's like who do you add there as a 5th? So whatever works. Yeah.
I mean, I really really hope that they bring Merrick in as a mercenary as well, because they on Star Wars
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
database
Yeah.
they call him a mercenary, working for Shin or working for Morgan.
Yeah. They definitely could have that entire team put together, and then you can have.
It would at least give us a 3v3 team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just really don't want a 2-man team unless it's unless it's like a Bane kind of thing,
Mm.
where it's like they're a duo and they go do cool things. But like, I don't think Shin would be that powerful. Balin's quite strong, of course, but I
And
don't think
legendary. Yeah.
Shin would be.
Well, I think she'll be powerful with him because obviously
Yeah,
that combination. It'll be interesting to see how they go with these characters and who they finally settle in for who we're going to have.
yeah.
I mean, we know the
We've got a
Ahsoka
lot of.
stuff, but I mean, the Balin and the Mothers and Morgan and all these troopers. It'd be interesting how we put all this together on the dark side stuff.
Well, yeah, the troopers. I mean, for now, I believe Captain Enoch is. They're going to do a split between the two factions, right? So
Right.
that's what their intention is. So you take Moff Gideon, Scout, TIE fighter pilot, and Dark Trooper, and then you take Enoch takes Stormtrooper, Death Trooper, Night Trooper, and Death Trooper Peridia.
Yeah.
Um, on the initial, there is actually a case to be made that if you need to put a full Imperial Remnant team, that you could put Dark Trooper with Captain Enoch,
Mm.
because you can't Dark Trooper can't be revived anyways, so it doesn't really matter if he goes with DTMG or not. Um, but I mean, he clearly would have a lot more synergy there than he would. Well, we don't know what Captain Enoch's abilities are yet, but
No.
um, so I'm interested to see how that works short term, because right now, like, Imperial troopers as a faction are kind of floundering on what they're capable of,
Yeah.
because there's so much stuff that prevents their Terminator loops, or they have such a hard time getting out in front of everything. So
Oh yeah.
my my Piat lives almost exclusively with Lord Vader and fives now. I don't hardly ever run an Imperial team.
I don't either anymore. Jedi Rose Ranger question: how powerful will the new Ezra be? Considering that he's going to be a part of a GL Ahsoka team, usually those characters are quite powerful.
Probably like cat level.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that Ezra is designed well enough to be multifaceted like Cat. I don't like when they do these characters where it's like they are slaved to that GL and that
Yeah.
GL sucks without them. It's kind of what I don't like about JMK. JMK without Cat is utter trash in
Poopy.
compare for GL standards.
Yeah.
It is not good for GL standards by himself. But yeah, we'll see what they come up with.
No, I think Ezra's going to be quite powerful. I think that team's going to be quite strong. Um, However, the synergy works and stuff, we just know that it's going to be potent. Um, that stuff on my brain that's already locked in. I'm just interested with once we get all the pieces with the mothers and Enoch and Balin and Shin and everything, where that's all going to fall. Once it's all in place, because it's like, okay, you get the mothers and Morgan, okay, maybe a nice sister team, but who you put on there? Do the troopers go there? Probably not. Probably Imperial Remnant. But where's Balin and Shin fit into all this? Is that going to
Yeah,
go with Morgan?
what do they do with the mercenary tag is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I want to know, is like, is the mercenary tag the epitome of if a character has the mercenary tag, they gain the benefits of the leader no matter what. Like, it applies all effects to them,
Mm.
because that could give you a lot of fun. But I'm really kind of hoping that Balin's got a leadership and they give us at least Shin and Merrick as a 3-man team, and then in 5v5 we have some way to supplement where they can pick up any character, and their leadership allows to work with them
Well,
as well.
if they bring in Merrick, you could have a team of Balin, Shin, Merrick, Morgan, and the mothers, right? Then you have the
Well,
troopers as a
but
team with Enoch.
the mothers are gonna be a leader on their own. Like, you wouldn't they're gonna lead Night Sisters. They've already been quite clear about that intention,
Okay.
because the it's supposed to be Great Mother, Morgan, and then Acolyte, Spirit, and Talia is supposed to be the new Night Sister
The new
team,
Night Sister team. Okay.
and they are supposed to be on the power level of Gungans.
All right. So we have that team. Then we have the troopers with the Remnant, and then we figure out what we do with Balin, Shin, and Merrick or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I have no idea what they
Probably
do beyond that.
Ufu. Probably some Ufu synergy there. You think?
Possibly. I think they got to be really careful with it though,
Oh yes, they do.
because Malicos is a monster, and if Shin and Balin, which they will be Ufus, unless they come up with dark Jedi tags, which would be funny. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um, but they have to be careful so they don't just get co-opted into the Ufu teams that exist, because I think that then those get really out of hand really fast.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they do with that. The question for me really comes down to is,
Mm-hmm.
how much time will be between GL Ahsoka's release and GL Thrawn, because I'm thinking it's going to be under 6 months.
You think that fast? Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't, they can't separate it too far because then it'll be too easy to have all the requirements. There's not much else they can really add from the series or new marquees they could put in. There are some. Don't get me wrong. There are some. They could definitely do a few. They could do a Captain Pelion. They could do
Sure.
a couple other options of other aspects of from the Ahsoka show and the Manda show that they could bring in as more requirements to bolster different factions that they want to do. That's all a possibility for sure. But I don't think they're gonna delay it too long. I think they're gonna just pivot from one to the next. We're kind of gonna get the vibes from like when we had JMK to Lord Vader.
Hmm.
It's like JMK came out in May and then Lord Vader was there in August. I feel like it'll be similar.
Okay.
Because I don't see a reason for them to delay it. And if they're going with GL Ahsoka as her character exists presently, there's no reason they wouldn't do it for Thrawn.
Sure. Well, the other thing too is I was thinking because after this Balin, which is going to be a legendary event, and then Ahsoka, I was thinking for the holidays because we haven't had any ships that they might do a ship run. Because I wasn't thinking that would be the next thing that they work on until the beginning of spring of next year where we start getting the Thrawn stuff is what I was thinking. But that kind of falls into your timeline, I think.
Well, so I think what's going to happen is in September, sometime in September, we're going to get a legendary event for
For
Great
Balin.
Mothers.
Oh, for Great Mothers, you think they're going to be a
Yeah.
legendary?
Yeah. Well, they almost have to be, right? Because CG said in their Road Ahead post that they are aiming for the power level of Gungans with this new Night Sister team, which you're not going to do with a Marquee. And it can't be the next Conquest unit because that's Ezra. So
Hmm.
my brain goes, it has to be um, Night Sisters, which I feel is part of the reason why they pushed out these new Night Sister characters right out the rip. They're the first ones to start with, because I think they'll be somewhat required for the event. And then I would say that Galactic Legends Ahsoka will show up in November. Um,
Well, where does Balin?
because
When does Balin come in?
Christmas.
Okay, you think he's going to be the Christmas release? Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna push him last because I think that they're gonna do a larger requirement pool for him than they've done for like they did for Bo Katan. I feel like they're gonna have more characters involved. And a lot of them being the marquees from that will go with the Ahsoka Tano team, or
Hmm.
yeah. And the issue that I see is that the three marquee the marquees we know that are coming out of the four that they've told us about so far, right? Three of them are Galactic Legends Ahsoka Tano requirements. One of them is for Balin.
Right.
And so with that being the case, Balin needs Shin. Then there's no way they bring Balin in without bringing Shin. That would be absolutely asinine. Um, so we know that she still has to show up. We know that Ahsoka is supposed to get a new team, which means there's three more marquees on top of that coming down the pike. Um, so we're doing two marquees a month. So Enoch comes out mid-August. The next one launches in September, mid-September, October, mid-October. So it's like it just pushes things really far down the line. That is why I don't see Balin coming before Galactic Legend of Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
Like, so Ahsoka's Rex are almost all in game. They'll all be here in the next 2 weeks, right? All the marquees that they have stated are coming for her, air quotes here, right?
Well, I didn't think they were going to release her until we got closer done with the conquest with Ezra.
Well,
But
that's why November is the last Ezra conquest.
right.
And I would not be surprised if she launches a little bit ahead of or right on top of him finishing. But he finishes in mid to late November. I think the week before Thanksgiving starts. Sorry, because yeah, that's done off there. So we start on the 5th and it ends on the 19th, and then we start on the 2nd of September, and that ends on or is the 9th. 1, 2, done. 1, 2. Yeah, so yeah, 9th ends on the 23rd. 1, 2 starts on the 14th, ends on, yeah. So we got the last one in August for him, and then
Yeah, we'll get it if they stay on their pattern that they've been on.
the
Next
last one
week.
should, yeah, the last conquest for Ezra should start on the 11th of November and end on the 25th.
Okay.
So I would not be surprised if she came
Before
that
then.
that week or before the week before.
Yeah. Okay. We'll figure it out. As I said, that's why I'm only taking these characters to Relic 5. Until I know for sure who's going where and what and stuff. I'm like, you can sit at Relic 5, and when I need you, I'll take you to 7 or 8 or 9, whatever I need. Because it's like, I just don't, like, I'm not yeah. And boss is pulling his hair out. I didn't join this TW. Usually on this weekend like this, I don't usually do. Get enough
Yeah,
materials.
we're in a dip war right now. We lost the last two. We went up against Vod, Ma Vanguard of Disorder, and it did not go well for us. And then the last one we fought, we had some technical issues in the back end.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What else? 3 night troopers needed at Relic 7 for Ahsoka, so maybe Death Guy will only be Relic 5.
they
Possibly.
already said R7.
Yeah.
It's in the post
Oh,
for
that's right.
Death Trooper.
Yeah. But I ain't taking him to 7. Not
Oh yeah,
yet.
no, I'm not. I don't overcommit the resources on things until I can use them. Like
Yeah.
I would love to take Morgan to R9, but until I know what Great Mothers do, I ain't really all that excited about putting it on her. I am low key thinking that they're going to have a second R9 requirement for Ahsoka. So
I think so too. It seems just, that's just the trend,
yeah, well, there's no ship this year. There's no way there will be a ship this year.
What do you put in there? It's no new shipper. Unless they
So
bring out
it's
those ships, like what the hell?
so I feel like they're going to. That's what I feel like Ahsoka and Thrawn. That's why I feel like it's gonna be so close, because that makes only sense to me is why it consumes so much resources, because otherwise they've done a ship and a GL every year. So it's like, okay, well, if we're doing two GLs in close succession, then that makes sense why we don't have a ship this year.
Yeah, that one
So
threw me off because we've been in this pattern the last 3 years where it's been
yeah,
first you get the ship, then you get the GL. That's the way it's been. So yeah, the fact that we didn't get a ship this year, and then the amount of marquees and everything they're doing for these characters, like, okay, makes sense.
yeah, it's a massive marquee dump, for sure. So
But this one feels different though, because we've had massive marquee dumps, but I was talking about this earlier. The new marquee system is just making it.
it's way more palatable.
Yes.
That is a fact. Because what you would spend originally to get a 5-star unlock of the character so that you could get the Omicrons and stuff, right? Is the equivalent of what you have to spend to get a 6-star now, and then the event will give you the 7-star.
Right.
So it's like, all right, I can live with that as the trend. Because especially if they're, I mean, like, I don't love the idea of exclusive datacrons. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of a grubby practice, but I do like everything else they do with the new marquee system.
Yeah.
If you are going to be like, especially for like the young whales, the fact that you can get so many Zeta mats from taking it 7-star day one and refreshing the event, you get some decent amount of relic materials. There's a lot of things about it that I feel are a good mechanic to have for players that are willing to spend to be get additional rewards out of it. But the pay to win datacrons, like
Yeah.
they are next level good, and I don't really appreciate that part of it. Even as somebody who has them, I just think
Same.
it's kind of a silly practice to lock out competitive players from that kind of stuff. Now, granted, the majority of people who have it are usually facing people that have it, but I think it's like the TW part where it gets really kind of shitty because if like all 50 people get the datacron, then that gives them a pretty sizable advantage. So there's a lot of incentive to just wail your little heart out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that they did. I was like, okay, because when they started with Kenobi, I'm like, God damn, that thing's broken. But you could only get it
Yeah.
if you had, you got Kenobi. Kenobi.
Yeah. It just a lot of things in that where it's like, all right.
Kenobi.
I am interested to see what they do with the next Datacron set though. I'm really hoping we go back to factions because I'm as much fun as the theory crafting in this one is, I
It's too
feel
much,
like
man.
it's too much. It requires super amounts, like super datacron depth, which I think is out of the average player's experience. And I think that's like, we wander back into the problem we had like 10 datacron sets ago, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you have to have like 25 plus level nines, and for the majority of the player base, that's just asininely out of reach. And so it's just like I get where you guys are going. It was a good like deviation, and overall the concept isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Like the concept is interesting to have to play with these mechanics,
It's too
but
many.
there's too many. Yeah, way too many, and there's too much good. Like if they did a little bit, or if they had less options on the level 6 so that you could get more of them more reliably, or if the entire datacron set had all the reroll mats cut in half like the levels 4, 5, and 6 are, then I think it would have been more tolerable to have to re-roll and change and do things. But the way it is right now, it's just too painful. There's just too much to chase. There's too much to that needs to be
Well, and too much to keep
done if you
track
want to.
of because you have to look at each one of these
Yeah.
crons. Like, what are you running here?
Well, that
Okay.
and then that and then like the almost the entire first season of them being live, there's all just detrimental bugs across the
Oh
board.
yeah, big time.
It's like Star Killer getting to use his pull it out of the sky twice, and
The tank
the
one being all
tank
jacked
run
up.
being
Yeah.
broken as hell. And then there's a couple others that are like that. And just like, um, dear CG, if you could stop, that would be really cool.
If you
Okay,
guys could
thanks.
like tele, make sure that stuff doesn't hop on. But I think when you have 22 characters with the amount
Yeah,
of stuff that they have, plus the level, I mean, the level threes are fine, right? But the level six is where it gets crazy. It's like
yeah.
God
Well,
Almighty.
there's so much power difference between on the level sixes between like anything and then the wordy ones, and so it's like
Yeah, the tank
it
one or the wordy
sucks.
one. It's like okay,
Yeah. You just want all the wordy ones, and it just gets nuts how many characters can abuse the crap out of the mechanics. Like the Tuscan team it just is like, oh yeah, well I'm calling assist all the time, and when they attack on a turn, they're doing additional true damage, and they
yeah,
just start slapping you around like they own the show. You're like, I have made mistakes on stuff and things. And so it's like it's just players that are going to invest into that get a massive competitive advantage over players that don't. And I feel like even though the last set had a lot of like set 15 that's active right now with the Inquisitors and Gungans, like that set did a lot of good
I
things
agree.
and a lot of annoying things, but
Manageable.
it was manageable. The counters were kind of built in back and forth. This was just like, hey man, if you don't have like 6 or 7 of these attacker crons and support crons and tank crons and a couple of healer crons, like you're just not going to have a good day. And I feel like that's a kind of shitty way to play the game. I don't think that's fun.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Because I'm just like, if you got the mats, just you should just reroll till you get that wordy level 6 one, right? Like, God almighty.
Almost, yeah. It's just like turn everything to shard shop currency and then buy that reroll pack and then or reroll components and then just sit there and try to get it as best you can.
How many attackers attack again is nuts in the support cons. Yeah, I used that on a team last night with Dash, Han, and Chewie. The attackers doing that team kept just we blitzed a Dr. Alpha team like it was nothing.
The support cron with Dash is so freaking nuts. Like Dash takes his first turn and then gives like 100% crit damage. Just like, oh my god, who needs armor pen when you can just blow them through the freaking wall?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things where I'm just looking over at CG and I'm like, are you sure that was the way you wanted to go? And even again, the attacking again would be completely fine. But then they double down and go, oh, well, if you don't crit, then you get stacking defense penetration. And then if you're ever called to attack out of turn, you do true damage on top of whatever you're doing. And I'm like, you know how stupid that sounds?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just make it really, really powerful. Okay. No big deal.
All right. So get your questions in. We'll go for a few more minutes here. And yeah.
Bottom. Bum, bow, 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 bow.
Tiger Man, first time chat. Welcome. Says I can't figure out if it's better to stay at level 6 and keep re-rolling to get the perfect roll, or get the same style you want. Go to level 9 and then back to level 6 to re-roll because the level 6 is locked and there's a smaller base to pull from. Yeah, what do you think on that?
It is if so what my strategy is 90% of the time is to always go to level 9 if the level 6 is at least in the category I want. So if I want a tank level 9 or a tank level 6, right? I'll take the cron to level 9 and then re-roll to get the wordy tank because then it only goes to 4 or 5 options, which is far better than rolling anything else. Now, if you don't want the level 6s there, usually I'll still roll to 8 and see what the stats play out to be all the way on the cron, and then that tells me which way I might want to pivot that level 6 to and try to just get like an attacker level 6 and then take it to level 9 and then re-roll that. I know it does cost more datacron materials to do that and data cache, but if you're trying to just do it off the level 6s, like you're just waiting for RNG to come your way, which is such a hard thing to do when you've got over 20 options to pull from. So you got to narrow that pool down, even though it is a weighted pool, which that's been quite obvious that if that's been the case with this set in particular. But it's still better to have 4 options to pull from instead of 20. So
yeah, I always go. I always do that. I always go to level 9, see what it is, because I want to re-roll at level 9 first. Because there's some level 9s I'm like, I don't want that. It's like, a few characters on this set, there's like, no. And then I'll go back and do the 6. Because then at that point, to get the right level 9 that I'm wanting, then it's like, okay, cool. And now I've got the extra mats and stuff to go roll to level 6, which I've re-rolled. I've only gotten one that's got the support one. Like God.
yeah,
I've
I've only got 2 on my all. I've only got 2 support crons, and then I've got like 3 attacker crons, and then like everything else is tank. So I'm just like, well, we know we're doing this first week of conquest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this conquest is all about, for me again, it's the cache conquest. I'm going to get my impulse detectors out of it, and I'm just going to be farming the crap out of Datacrons because I only need 65 shards for lithium, whatever it is. It's like Spartan get that with where I'm at in
Yeah,
conquest.
I mean I mean you can get that with the gold crate alone, and then
Yeah, and not worry about it because that's all I'm going to be doing is farming Datacron material. Sector 1, Sector 4. That's it. Get as many Datacrons as I can, and then And then get the mats, especially the Mark IIs, piece to roll, because they make that intentionally hard to do. So unless you commit to it, you getting them out of the store is just not efficient. So and you need those more than any.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can change, you can take stuff out of the shard shop store, but that's about the only thing to get, which is the out of cash and
Mm-hmm.
the reroll materials for
Yeah.
level 1 and 2.
Yeah, the data cache has been fine, but it's again, it's there's always going to be something in any of this stuff, whether it's signal data or card text, or in here
Yeah.
the MK2s or the level 9 reroll mats. There's going to be something that they're going to pigeonhole you to, where you have to be patient and get it and wait, like in TW and things of that
Or
nature,
whale.
or spend a lot of money. And for me, Datacrons, and I do quite well with Datacrons. I get, usually each set I'll get like, about like 22 on each set. The previous sets I would do 6 to 9 of the main ones, but mostly they're like level 8. I just roll for the level 3s and 6s. Now this one's different because there's so many named ones I'm still trying to get. I still want one for Wampa, I still want one for a couple of the tanks and support. So it's like, it's crazy. So
Yeah, it's just a good time.
great times, just fantastic times. Any big plans here, Karth, over the weekend?
No, it's
Just chill.
supposed to be hot
Oh,
as
it's so bad.
balls
It's hard as, yeah, it's hot as
uh
balls.
on the West Coast. So we went and walked the dogs real quick this morning, um, over at the track over by the college, and then we'll probably hang out at the house through the middle of the afternoon. Then we're gonna go downtown for a little bit and do just to get out of the house. But then we'll be back in the house. Then tomorrow is just yard work day. Start early and then take a break for 6 hours, then go back in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, I did my stuff on Wednesday. I thought I was gonna die, dude. I had to do that trench, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is heat. I was doing like, because it was so hot and humid, I was doing like 30 to 40 minutes of work, and then I go in the shade and cool off because I'm like, I'm gonna die. And I was pounding Gatorade, but I mean, I was completely soaked by the end of that 4 hours. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I do need to get out there and do a little bit of yard work. But I'm like, too hot.
Yep.
This is so hot. You got to get up early in the morning and get out there before that sun starts beating down on you.
Yeah, that's the hard part on the weekends. You're like, it's just gonna be miserable to do this later, but I don't want to get out of bed at 5 a.m. to do it.
Yeah. You just
So
suck it up. You're just like, I'm going to be very moist today. So let's just get out there and get dirty and muddy and moist. And then that's what the good Lord made a shower for.
yeah.
All right. Final call for questions. We're going to start wrapping it up and get out of here because I've got some errands to run. Karth's got things to do, like stay cool.
Yeah. I've got a very boring. I I won. I clearly won the GAC last night after much belaboring of the points. Um, but the alt, I'm pretty sure I've won, but like the guy does like 2 attacks and then waits 4 hours and then does 2 attacks and waits 4 hours.
Mm.
It's like, can you just be done? Like he's dropped twice, I dropped once, but I did really shitty in fleets. Almost dropped a whole battle's worth of banners and fleets. So I'm not like guaranteed the win after 2 drops, but it's like, come on, I need to know. I don't want to wait 4 hours. Please keep attacking.
Yeah, that's what my guy did. He waited till, I mean, it's just the way it is. If you're a content creator, it's like, you got to go do your JC. It makes it there's a little bit easier too because they can
Yeah,
see what you score and then can figure out what they want to use where, especially if they're being
I
efficient.
honestly wish they had a fog of war
Me too.
on the score because I feel like it's a massive advantage to know where your opponents are making mistakes. Um, and Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but I feel like you got to quit penalizing the guy who moves first. And I feel like that's all that happens is like the guy who goes first gets penalized if there's a, if they make a mistake, because then you can utilize that information to play a little bit more recklessly on a counter that you may not have tried. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't touched GAC in years, Allie. So
It's like two years since they expanded the board.
that's the only thing they've done.
They honestly just need to make a new division and then expand the board again. I don't think Kyber one needs to grow or at all. They
No.
just need to do a new division, more rewards, more battles, more stuff and things. I feel like that's a good place to also kind of create a beta test for GAC modifications, because you can isolate the zone and then see what you want to trickle out to the other ones, so they get to be your kind of like testers for new mechanics you want to try, and then they just get the rewards because they're playing at that level. So let it be what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, they just need something different. I think GAC, there's too much going on. There's no consequences for power condensing, and the datacrons are lifting up too many teams to beat too many things. So it's like you just need like 7 or 8 datacrons, and it's like, well, I can clear the majority of your GLs without using a single one of mine. So
Yeah. Been on the cron. Yeah. I mean, we still use Bo versus Vader, and we're using Starkiller versus Ray, and
I mean, Bo would work versus a lot of things if that Padme cron didn't exist right now.
yeah.
So it's like there's just so many things where it's like the power level, it just fluctuates by what's datacrons are in play.
Well, I think it was
Bo,
last round of 5v5. We had a round where there was 5 GLs on defense, and I used 4 counters that were non-GL to beat them.
yeah,
You know, it's like, I went into Starkiller versus Jabba. We used Inquisitor versus James K, I believe. We had the UFU team versus Ray, that kind of stuff. And it was like, Oh, it can beat it there, boss.
it's just faster without the damage being reduced to 1.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing. It's like it just Padme is kind of a pain in the butt. Not impossible, but kind
No,
of a
it can be
pain.
done, but it's just like if it goes wrong, it really goes wrong. It's like, oh, god damn it. Ah. That's the way it is. All right, we're gonna go raid Tassinix. The court jester's doing some GAC, I'm quite sure. And I'm gonna go get my day started. I got some errands and stuff to run and things of that nature, so I'm gonna go get that squared away. And then I'll be back tonight for some D&D. We're going to create characters for our new campaign that I'm going to be running, so that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, you can check that out tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on these 2 channels. We'll do some D&D here, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we're going to go raid Tassinix here on Twitch. I think he's live on YouTube. I don't know if he has a YouTube going, if he's still streaming.
I don't think Tass does.
I don't think
YouTube.
he is. Yeah. I think he once upon a time he did, but man, those days are done. So with that, everyone have a great rest of your day. We love you guys. Thank you for being here on the Jedi Academy. And we will see you when we see you. Peace out.